The rain tapped softly against the kitchen window, each drop a reminder of the endless ache that had settled into my bones. I sat at the dining table, staring at the chair across from me, the one that would never again be filled. 40 days. 40 days since Daniel's heart gave out. Since the laughter left these rooms. Since my world shrank to an echo. His mug still sat in front of me, half full of cold coffee I couldn't bear to throw away. It was silly, maybe even pathetic, but I couldn't bring myself to wash it. That mug still carried the faint shadow of his lips. To wash it would be to admit he was truly gone. I used to talk to him every morning. Even on his sickest days, Daniel had a way of making me believe tomorrow would be brighter. Now mornings were an ocean of silence, heavy and unbearable. The shrill ring of the phone shattered the stillness. My chest tightened. Nobody called anymore. Not since the funeral was over and the casseroles stopped arriving at the door. I answered on the fourth ring, my voice hoarse. "Mom," came Hannah's voice. My eldest daughter. Always brisk, always in control. Her tone had no softness, no pause. "We need to talk about your finances." I blinked, confused. "My finances? You can't keep living in that big old house," she said quickly, like she had rehearsed it. "It's too much for you. It's not safe. Michael and I already spoke to a realtor. There's a buyer interested. It's best if you move in with us." Her words hit me harder than any slap. A buyer? A stranger walking through the rooms Daniel had built with his own hands? The home where I brought each of my children home from the hospital, where birthdays were celebrated, where forgiveness was begged after arguments. They wanted to reduce it all to a number on paper. "There's no mortgage," I said quietly, almost pleading. "I know," Hannah replied, exasperated. "But selling the house would give you money for your care. And you could help us pay off Michael's loan. It's the smart choice." The smart choice. For them. Not for me. For me. It felt like betrayal wrapped in the velvet of false concern. When I hung up, my hands trembled. I stared at the phone long after the line went dead, wondering when my daughter had stopped seeing me as a mother and started seeing me as a bank account. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. The house creaked like it always had, the wood settling, the pipes sighing, but instead of comforting me, the sounds reminded me of my solitude. Daniel used to lie beside me, his breathing steady, his warmth spilling across the mattress. I would rest my head on his chest and listen to his heart, strong and certain, until sleep took me. Now the bed was a cold expanse, and my pillow was damp with tears more nights than not. 2 days later, David came by. My younger son. He wore a smile that was too polished, too deliberate. He kissed my cheek, looked around the house and said, "Mom, this place is too big for you. You shouldn't be alone." "Ay fine," he murmured. "Think about it," he coaxed, his voice dripping with charm. "We've already cleaned out a room for you. You won't be alone. You'll have the grandkids around. It'll be perfect." Perfect. Another word that burned. He wasn't offering comfort. He was selling exile. As he moved upstairs to fetch an old photo album, I lingered in the hallway, my pulse pounding. Their plan was becoming clear. Hannah and David, united in their determination. Not to help me, but to help themselves. That night, I sat in Daniel's study, a place I hadn't dared enter since the funeral. The smell of him lingered. Faint cologne, old paper, wood polish. His jacket still hung on the chair. My fingers trembled as I touched it, half expecting him to walk through the door, scolding me for crying too much, reminding me I was stronger than I knew. But the silence mocked me. I opened the desk drawer. Dust clung to the edges. Beneath stacks of tax forms and insurance papers, I found an envelope. My heart stuttered. Daniel's handwriting. Bol, steady, familiar. The sight of it alone brought me to tears. I slid the letter out, unfolding it with shaking hands. "My dearest Claire," it began. "If you are reading this, it means I am no longer with you. I know our children. They will try to take control, to decide your life for you. Don't let them. You are stronger than they think. Every account, every property is in your name. And there's more. There is a cottage by the lake. It is yours. A place for you to heal, away from their demands. Don't be afraid to walk away. Choose yourself." Tears blurred the ink. He had known. He had seen what I couldn't admit, that love can sour into entitlement, that the children we gave everything to could turn into strangers when money was at stake. I pressed the letter to my chest, sobbing. In the days that followed, their pressure intensified. Hannah arrived with documents, papers she wanted me to sign. "It's all arranged, Mom," she said sweetly, too sweetly. "We just need your signature." David hovered nearby, smiling, coaxing, pretending to care. But when their eyes darted toward each other, I saw it. The calculation, the anticipation. I wasn't ready to confront them yet. I needed time. I needed strength. But inside me, something was shifting. Grief had hollowed me out, but beneath the hollow a spark was forming. Daniel had left me more than memories. He had left me armor. Every night, I thought of the cottage by the lake. I had almost forgotten it existed. We bought it years ago, when the children were small. We spent summers there, teaching them to swim, roasting marshmallows by the fire. But life got busy, bills piled up, and the visits grew rare. The cottage became a forgotten dream. Until now. Hannah's visits grew sharper, her tone clipped. "Mom, you're being unreasonable. You can't keep this house. Think about us. What if something happens to you here alone? Think about us. Not about me. Never about me." Once she would curl up in my lap, whisper secrets, beg me to braid her hair. Once, she clung to me after nightmares, her tears soaking my nightgown. When did she stop being my little girl? David, too, had changed. As a boy he was tender-hearted. I remembered him at 10 years old, holding a wounded bird in his hands, tears streaming as he begged me to save it. "Please, Mom, don't let it die." Now, that tenderness was buried beneath greed. Every memory felt like betrayal. One evening, I sat on the porch, watching the rain pool on the steps. The sky was dark, heavy with storm. Hannah's words echoed in my mind, "It's the smart choice." David's voice followed, "It'll be perfect." But beneath their rehearsed lines, I heard the truth. "We want what's yours. We want what Dad left you. We want it all." The realization broke something inside me. For the first time since Daniel's death, I wasn't just grieving him. I was grieving them. My children. The ones I carried. The ones I fed. The ones I sacrificed for. And now they were strangers. Strangers with my blood in their veins. I held Daniel's letter in my lap, the paper worn from my tears, and whispered into the storm. "I don't know if I'm strong enough." But deep inside I felt him answer, "Yes, you are." And so, I began to plan. The morning they came with the papers, the sky was a washed-out gray, the kind of sky that seemed to press down on the earth. Hannah and David walked into my home like they owned it, their footsteps brisk, their eyes too bright. They sat across from me at the dining table. The same table where Daniel and I once shared countless breakfasts, where Hannah spilled milk as a child, where David carved his initials when he thought no one was looking. Now it felt like a courtroom, and I was on trial. "Mom," Hannah began, her voice sugar-coated but sharp underneath. "We've done all the hard work for you. This is just a formality." She slid the papers across the table. "Sign these, and everything will be taken care of. No stress, no worries." I didn't touch them. "What exactly am I signing?" David leaned forward, smile plastered on like a mask. "Just the sale papers for the house. Everything else will go smoothly. You'll move in with me for now, and Hannah and I will manage the rest." Manage the rest. As if my life, my home, my memories were nothing but assets in their hands. My hands trembled, but I pressed them firmly against the table, forcing myself to stay steady. "No." The word dropped into the silence like a stone into water. Hannah's face twisted for just a second, the sweetness cracking. "Mom, don't be difficult. This is what's best for you." "For me." My voice shook, but not with fear. With rage. "Or for you. For your loans, your bills, your conveniences? Tell me, Hannah, when was the last time you came here just to see me? To talk? To ask how I'm holding up since your father died?" Her eyes flickered. "That's not fair." "No, what's unfair is this." I pushed the papers back toward her. "This house, this life, it's mine. Not yours to sell. Not yours to take." David tried to intervene, his tone oily. "Mom, you don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly." I snapped, my grief turning to steel. I pulled Daniel's letter from my pocket, the edges worn soft. Your father understood too. He knew this would happen. He warned me. And he left me everything. Everything is in my name, including the cottage by the lake. For the first time, their masks slipped completely. David's smile fell. Hannah's lips parted in shock. The cottage, she repeated, stunned. Yes, I said, my voice firm. The cottage. The place where you learned to swim, where we built fires on summer nights. You forgot about it, didn't you? But he didn't. He left it for me. A sanctuary away from all this. Hannah's composure cracked. You're not thinking straight, Mom. You're grieving. You can't handle this on your own. We're trying to protect you. I laughed, a bitter sound that surprised even me. Protect me? No. You're protecting your greed. You want to strip me of everything I have left of him, and then dress it up as concern. The silence between us was deafening. I looked at their faces, my children, my blood, and all I saw were strangers. Strangers who had once called me mommy, who had once reached for my hand, who had once trusted me to kiss their bruises better. Now they were vultures circling a carcass. I gave you everything, I whispered, more to myself than to them. My youth, my strength, my love. And now you'd take even the roof over my head. Hannah's voice rose, sharp and angry. If you don't sell, Mom, you'll regret it. You can't live here alone. Something will happen, and then what? We'll be the ones stuck dealing with it. Her words sliced deeper than any knife. Stuck dealing with it. That was what I had become, a burden. Not a mother. Not a woman who had raised them with sleepless nights and endless sacrifices. Just an obligation. I stood, clutching Daniel's letter to my chest. My voice was shaking, but it was strong enough to cut through the air. I am not your burden. And I am not your bank. I am your mother. And if you can't see that, then you've lost me. Their faces hardened, but I didn't wait for their response. I turned and walked upstairs, my steps heavy but certain. In my room, I pulled out a suitcase and began to pack. Clothes. Toiletries. The photo of Daniel and me from our anniversary. The letter. That was all I needed. By the time dawn broke the next morning, I was gone. The road stretched endlessly before me, fields blurring past the car windows as the city melted away. With every mile, the weight on my chest eased just a little. The farther I drove, the less I heard Hannah's clipped voice, David's honeyed lies. All I heard was Daniel's steady whisper in my heart. Choose yourself. Hours later, I turned down the winding path that led to the lake. My hands gripped the steering wheel tight, my pulse racing. And then there it was, the cottage. It stood just as I remembered, weathered but strong, its porch light still working as if it had been waiting for me. The lake shimmered in the afternoon sun, quiet, eternal. I stepped out of the car, breathing in the crisp air. The scent of pine and water filled my lungs, cleansing me in a way grief never could. For the first time in 40 days, I felt alive. Inside, dust coated the furniture, but it didn't matter. This was mine. Ours. A place untouched by betrayal. A place where Daniel's laughter still lingered in the walls. I dropped my bag on the floor and walked to the porch, the wooden boards creaking beneath my feet. The lake stretched before me, endless and calm. Tears spilled down my cheeks, not the tears of grief, but of release. You were right, Daniel. I whispered into the stillness. I am stronger than they'll ever know. The wind rustled through the trees, and for a moment, I swore I felt him there beside me. And for the first time since widowhood, I wasn't just surviving. I was choosing. Choosing myself. Choosing freedom.